Uh, very good morning to all of you present here. This is probably the first time I'll be addressing a convention like so, and I'm really thankful for this opportunity. Usually it is everybody else asking the questions and we're just answering those questions. However, today I've got an opportunity to put on my point of view to the people. So we'll just start with a small video that
My father, grandfather both have served in Air Force and बचपन से उनको जब यूनिफॉर्म में देखती थी तो एक ही सपना होता था कि उनको प्लस स्कूल में कभी एजुकेशन ऑफिसर्स जब आते थे तो उन्हें लेडी ऑफिसर्स को देख के बहुत प्रेरणा होती थी कि किसी दिन हम भी इसी तरीके से यूनिफॉर्म पहन के ऑफ में चलेंगे. Given a choice, I would like to fly all of them.
Her story and dream about joining the Indian Air Force turned out to be an inspiration to many aspiring women. Mohana's journey to IAF is not an easy one. She has had her share of struggles and sacrifices to be made. 2016 was a very memorable year for the Indian Air Force. That was the year IAF inducted the country's first 3 female fighter pilots. Flight Lieutenants Avni Chaturvedi, Bhavna Kant and Mohana Singh broke barriers and stereotypes by becoming India's first ever female fighter pilots. Mohana Singh was capable of carrying Hawk advanced jets. Mohana Singh was born on January 22, 1992 in Khatipura village of Junjunu district of Rajasthan. She did her schooling from Air Force School in Delhi. Flight Lieutenant Mohana Singh is also the first woman fighter pilot to fly a Hawk advanced jet. Her training included flying during air-to-air and air-to-ground combat missions. She's been part of several training missions, including shooting down rockets, cannonballs, and high-capacity bombs. Apart from this, she also has participated in Air Force level flying training. Mohana Singh has over 500 hours of flying experience that includes 380 hours of flying Hawk AK-132 jets.
Spread your wings and fly high.
Hi, I am Squadron Leader Mohana Singh, and as you have seen, I am a fighter pilot in the Indian Air Force, and I have put in 8 years of service into this organization, and a feather to the cap that I also have 850 hours of incident and accident-free flying, which is a huge achievement. In my tenure, I have flown 4 different sort of platforms. When you talk about the aircraft, we have the training aircraft, which is the Pilatus PC-7. We have the age-old Kirins. Then we have the Hawk Mark 132s, and obviously the MiG-21 Bison. And probably soon I'll be in the Tejas cockpit as well. So I hail from Rajasthan, and I am married to a wonderful man, Mr. Mohit Rajput, who is a businessman. Being the 3rd generation member of my family to have served in the military, I am very thrilled to carry on the legacy. All right, so when you hear the words fighter pilot, what image comes into your mind? I was expecting that. So, I mean, is it the Thunderbirds racing on the runway with a jet? Or is it the rockstar life like in Top Gun Maverick? Flying the high performance jets, drinking beer on the weekends, and just striving for more and more speed. So the truth is, while the life of a fighter pilot might seem very adventurous and full of fun, a lot of planning and preparation gets into being one. Hollywood has certainly not helped us. Because there is a lot more to being a fighter pilot than just rocking cool sunglasses or wearing a patch full of jacket. Like our fraternity says, it is an attitude. I remember the first time I was appearing for the interview at the Dehradun Selection Board. We have different selection boards pan-India. So if you give a written exam, then you pass that. Then you go for a service selection board, wherein you have the different tests and interviews. And once you clear that, then there is medical, then there is merit list. So if you are lucky enough and you have worked your so you end up where I am today. So when I first went to Dehradun Selection Board, I got screened out in the very first round. And I did not actually understand the nuances of it. However, my grandfather, who had taken me all the way from Delhi to Dehradun to appear for that board, was very disheartened. And I never understood, at that time, I never understood that disappointment. However, I realized that that gave me a knack to keep on working for this goal. The day I got screened out, I made a promise to myself that if I do ever get selected in the Air Force, it will be from this selection board. And as luck would have it, 4 written attempts, 3 interviews, and 2 different selection boards. Years later, I was standing at the doors of the Air Force Academy to be a pilot. The training was obviously tough, for you have to be a soldier. And they train you to be a good soldier first and then an aviator. So the first initial 6 months of combined training, which includes physical conditioning and general knowledge about the service-related subjects. And then you start the very first stage of what's going to be your bread and butter for your life, flying. I remember the first time I had gone on leave after the first 6 months of training at the academy. I had lost 16 kgs in 6 months. And I was standing in front of my house and my mother failed to recognize me because all she could see was the teeth. So, yeah, apart from that, first day in the aircraft hangar, I came across a quote by Leonardo da Vinci. When once you have tasted flight, you will forever walk with your eyes turned skyward. For there you have been, and there you will always long to return. That is the addiction you have to flying. The meaning of this, obviously, I understood a few weeks later when I flew my first sortie, which was exhilarating. So after the first 6 months of flying, we undergo a trifurcation wherein the board sits and it decides who will be going to the fighter fleet, who will be going to the transports and the helicopters. And to be a fighter pilot, you're supposed to be in the first 75% of the merit. And you should have the trait wherein you don't need anybody else to judge your decisions, so that you can be put inside a cockpit of a machine worth hundreds of crores. So along came the decision to open the fighter stream to women in 2016. And I believe I was at the right time, at the right place at the right time, and ended up being here. It seemed difficult initially to consider a non-gender biased environment in this fraternity, wherein no pilot had ever shared a cockpit with a woman counterpart. We had our fair share of skepticism that we thought that we are going to face. But it was heartening to see how the fleet embraced the equality in its true sense. Our colleagues or our seniors, just like our mean machines, did not care about the gender. It was all about the flying skill, and the competence. We used to have our fair share of being garloed when we used to make mistakes in the flying. Nothing stopped them. Since then, it has been an unstoppable journey, living one day at a time, because that's as far as we can think of. So, perseverance and discipline were my two pillars, which I owe a lot to. And they kept me up even at the toughest of the situations, wherein I thought I'll not be able to make it. So, job as an armed personnel is indeed demanding. A lot of people who are ex-armed forces here would be able to relate. It is a very demanding job. More so because there's a lot of duty. You don't get time for your family. There's a lot of transfers from one place to another. Plus, it requires you to be in the best of physical and mental state to perform that duty. And being a fighter pilot, since you have to take the decisions in split of seconds and you're all alone there in the cockpit, you have to be skilled enough to execute it. If I have to give credit to someone for what I have achieved till date, it will be my family's faith in me and their never-ending support. For when I chose to take the road that was less traveled by. And obviously, the organization to which I belong, which made it possible for me to follow my passion. Thank you.